So, we are talking today about whether dogs are really becoming a danger or is there a hidden cause, right? So are dogs becoming more aggressive or are we missing the real story? Now, to understand this, we really need to look deep. Okay, where did dogs come from suddenly, and why is this problem being inflated so much? Right? It's a news for the past a couple of months at least. All dogs will be neutered, all dogs will be killed, all dogs will be put in a shelter, everything. All kinds of crazy things. All right. Now, let's go to a picture of a few years ago, okay, like a few decades ago. Now, where is it? Yeah, you can see this picture. This picture is taken from a dump yard where you can see a tractor, and they probably have some, dead bodies to dispose of, probably cattle. And you can see the large number of birds known as anything? Anybody?
Vultures.
Yes.
Vultures.
Right. Right. Exactly. So many vultures, isn't it? And one dog there, one stray dog there. Okay. Now, these so many years ago, India's skies were full of these vultures. They might look ugly, all right? They might be seeming ominous creatures, like people have different kinds of sayings that we should not see a vulture. If a vulture comes near you, it is dangerous. It is not good. All those things. But the skies were filled, millions of vultures we had at one point of time. Then, and they had a very important role to play, okay? Because India was and is a growing population, vultures were our cleaners. They were silently cleaning our our garbage dumps. Okay, most importantly, the carcasses of cattle, of human beings, which were not disposed of properly, of any other unclaimed body. These birds would feed on them fast, efficient, and just clean. Okay, now they removed these carcasses, stripped them of their flesh within just hours. All right. And the whole place would just, be clean in a matter of just a few hours. Then we started producing, we as a growing population, we started producing more and more cattle. We are an agriculture based economy. We depend on our cattle. We love our cows. And at one point of time now, India produces 71 million cattle carcasses. Okay, every year we produce these many carcasses, the cows dying. Okay, 71 million cows dying every year. Then what happened was, there were diseases which were afflicting the cows. Okay, and there was a lot of pain. So farmers and cattle ranchers started buying a drug called diclofenac. Okay, every one of us are aware of this drug. Even today, we get painkillers which contain diclofenac. All right. So
Yeah.
this drug is a killer for these vultures. Their kidneys fail after consuming a carcass which contains this drug. The drug does not just disintegrate; it remains in the body of the cow. You can see, and it just fails. The kidney fails after consuming the. I'm talking about the vultures. Okay, now what happens is, because of this, between the between the years of 1993 to 2007, because of the an innumerable number of vultures dying because of this drug, we lost three distinct bird species called the long-billed vulture, slender-billed vulture, and white-rumped vulture. Very important species. And between these years, we lost them from 4 million to only, now we are left only with 32,000 in all over India. All right. Now we cannot see we cannot see that picture anymore. Now our dumpsters are not full of vultures. They are filled with a new creature, that is the dogs. All right. Why dogs? I'm saying particularly because dogs are fast breeding. Okay, they breed fast and they really become aggressive when there is a very good supply of open meat. Okay, you can see here how aggressively they are defending these carcasses. There are some birds that like crows, and there are some other smaller animals which do feed on carcasses, like scavengers they are, but they are not as efficient as vultures. Okay. Now, vultures and also, yeah, vultures were the top species which actually cleaned these carcasses. And this is the photo taken from the Jorbir Bagh, Jorbir dump in northern India recently. And this is the situation in many places. You can see here, if you notice, that there are some more vultures behind these dogs. You can see, right? There are smaller, birds behind the dogs. They are also there are also some species of vultures called Egyptian vultures, but they are smaller in size and their numbers are also very little. You can see. So that's how they have taken up our neighborhoods, of course, because we feed them, we take care of the dogs. Often we forget that we should be responsible for their population explosion. Okay. I'm not against dogs. I am an avid dog lover. I'm an animal lover more generally. But I really love dogs. They have they are just something different. But as a citizen, as a person who is aware of these things, I have taken certain steps to do my bit, okay, which I will talk to you about it later. Then after this sharp decline in vulture numbers and a sharp increase in dog numbers, what happened was the ecosystem started changing, and we did not even notice it. Now we have more of these inconsistently or very inefficiently eaten carcasses. So the dogs are not very clean eaters. They are messy eaters. They do not clean the meat of their bones completely, whereas the vultures did that. They were built to do it. Okay. So they leave the flesh behind. Then what happens? More germs and more diseases spread. And because of that, dogs also come in contact with the rabies virus. All right. The result: more disease, more rabies, more water contamination. Today, we have every year there are 1 lakh more deaths because of rabies and water contamination because of this problem. So we ask, why are dogs becoming a danger? When we ask this, we also need to ask this question: what we must do to remove this from the system, or how can we rectify this system? Okay? This is not a dog problem. This is an ecological imbalance. If you are aware of all these things, this is my purpose of bringing you these topics, that you can be aware of these topics, of these very relevant everyday problems, and just think about ways and means of taking things in our hands responsibly and trying to be part of the solution. Now, next, so for this problem, what can we do? All right. Now, you can see here this dog, stray dog in a neighborhood is being held by this lady, and another gentleman is injecting a drug onto it. So, basically, what we need to do is that is our prime responsibility. Before we give food to a dog or shelter to a dog, we need to encourage immunization, okay, and neutering of dogs, vaccination and sterilizing of dogs. Okay, there are systems, there are NGOs, there are these municipality systems and all the other machinery which do work for mass sterilization and vaccination of neighborhood dogs, and we all can be part of it. Okay, instead of giving just food, okay, we can be part of the solution and help these people. These are just a handful of people who are doing this work of vaccination and sterilization. We can spread the word of these activities going on. We can tie up with these organizations, support them in whichever way we can. Even our presence, they can help. Okay, instead, like, just by being present instead of just giving monetary have help, whatever way you can, we can support this. And we can also support vulture conservation, vulture breeding programs. In many states of our country, vulture breeding programs are ongoing. They are artificially breeding vultures, like they are like helping vultures to safely lay eggs and increase their numbers, and then they are being released in the wild. We can support that. And most importantly, we should and must spread the word. We can tell people about this problem and how we can help this and be part of a solution by remembering that when one species disappears, the ripple touches us all. Okay, and when nature breaks without consequences, we can be part of its healing process. We can choose to act. With this, we come to the end of this session.